All right, so we're with Kelsey, and Kelsey's working on Inner Demons, the logo for that, for your game design. It's pretty cool. And we're looking for a font. So we're on Adobe Fonts, and this one we felt like really matched it. And what I'd like to show you today is how to, we're going to try to work on this logo, stretching and pulling this stuff. And I'm going to do this with you in Photoshop because I think that this feels very Photoshop ready instead of very kind of hard edged like it might be in Illustrator. So I have hearted it in, so liked it in Adobe Fonts. I'm going to click on View Family, and that's what's going to allow me to download it. So you can see that some of them get really congested, like too much, right? It's probably this one, the medium melted, that is closest to what you have. I can also put the title of it here. So seeing it in context. So Inner Demons. I think it's probably going to be the medium. What do you think?
Yeah, that one looks like the most easy to read.
Yeah, and that's one of the main things that we wanted to do. So these ones don't go kind of crookedy with it. The ones that are down here. And so I don't think it has as much attitude as what you were looking for up with this one. Do you think?
Yeah, I really like the thickness of that too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to keep, so you just want to remember it, like sometimes I write it down on a sticky note as I'm working or something like that. So it's now activated in my Adobe family, and then I'm going to just, I don't have your Photoshop file, but I can just work from your sketch anyways, it's not layered. Command-Shift-4, I'm going to grab this. Are you thinking that these bunnies would be a part of it?
Yeah, it's just the one bunny at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Because when we were talking about putting it on a sticker and everything, I was like, maybe just having the lettering alone or like the font, like the words would be enough because it already has so much detail in that already.
Yeah. Okay, so I just titled the file and brought it into Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to make a new layer up above it, make it a little bit bigger. Z for zoom. Okay, and then essentially just type it first. But I know that I'm going to play with them being different letters that need to get floating against each other. So I'm just going to type I first. I also know that it needs to be karake, is that right?
Yes.
So I'm finding the letters. Okay, so, and then do you have a sense of the color that you want yet? We'll just go with black initially, okay? Let me try first to type it out. So Inner Demons, my text box was just not big enough. And then Demons. Okay. So even if we did it at the right size, so I'm going to type 72 in the font size, it's still not like in the right kind of shaping, right? So that means that each one of these I'm going to cut and do a new paste of it. So paste, oops, paste, and then so I'm just going to play with the word inner right now, and maybe even just one of the ends or something to get it to make sense. But I'm going to run through this process of, I hit that check mark to get rid of all that other stuff. I could probably just type each one of these individually, but, and I could have also duplicated that thing. Okay, so I'm going to hit V, which is my arrow tool. I'm going to put this stuff in the right spot. Auto select layer. Put this in the right spot. Put this one over here. Okay, so I know that I need to tilt them and stuff. So Command T, get this to be a little bit tilted, hit return, click on this one, Command T, tilt it. Okay, so I think that these are really good starts at what we have, and I don't need to match your sketch exactly. We want to kind of play with the font being the font too. But when we're manipulating it in Photoshop, we will kind of work with it as if it's a painting, essentially. I would like to keep the font as it is, so I'm going to Option drag the font. So this is my original, this one that says N, and then this is my copy. And then I would go to Layer, Rasterize, Type. And what that does is it's now made it an image. It's like a drawing. I also am probably not big enough, my file. So I want to make sure that my file is big enough before I do this rasterizing. So I'm going to go to image size, and check that. So it's very small. It's too small to kind of match our size resolution that we're talking about. So let me take us back to concept and production, to the overview on that game logo design, and it will give us a size recommendation. So file sizes, I'm going to make it 3840 by 2660. So I'm going to go to 3840 here, 3840, and I don't need to change that. I'm going to keep it the same here. Okay, so now the text is the right thing, but this one is not. So I'm going to trash this one. So anything that is type is correct, but this I'm going to turn back on and duplicate and rasterize it. So go back up to type, rasterize type layer, and now I'll be able to work with it like bigger, and it won't have that same issue. I see that I am maybe not recording the right picture, but we'll just, now I am, hopefully. Okay, so now, Kelsey, it's just a matter of, kind of picking this and finding a brush. Like this would not be the right brush, right? Finding the brush that is going to be a standard one. And it might actually be the hard round without that pressure, especially at first, and just making it fit. So opacity needs to be at 100, and you can kind of like make your own edges. So you can do it that way. I think a better way to do it is to play with the warping tool or liquefy. I'm going to lasso, Command D, lasso this, and Command T. If I stretch it from here, it will hold that part there, and then stretch here. And then just make sure that that overlaps in the right way. So do you see how that's functioning nicely?
Yeah, that's quicker too.
Yeah. So Command T here, take that rotation point here and pull it. Okay, so Command D. And so I'm going to have to clean up some of this stuff. But like this, you may need, like you could probably use it with a C and then stretch from that. So like let me try that. Or the other thing that you can do is just kind of paint it, right? So B for brush. I'm just going to put my smoothing up to about 11, 12 or something, and then just kind of like draw that. So the smoothing gets rid of my coffee shakiness. And I just might need to come back and smooth a little bit. If we were working in Animate, it would all get really smooth. So this just is a matter of like, you gotta smooth things out yourself. Oops, Command Z. So sometimes I go too far with it. Okay, and then so G for dump. So it's just a matter of like letting the font be the thing that you work with at first, and then kind of manipulating from that. We can also use the warp tool. So I'm going to do that with the letter, with this N. So I'm going to duplicate this. All of these will need to get rasterized. So here, type, rasterize type, and then Command T and using the warp tool. So here, kind of letting the font kind of come in and be able to fit into your pointedness and stuff like that. That's feeling pretty good. And I'm kind of liking this warp technique better than the painting technique myself, because I end up with the edges are much cleaner. But you see how that's functioning?
Yeah.
And that's going to be a lot faster than having to paint, to draw and make your own font altogether.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Very good. Thanks, Kelsey.